Hi everyone and welcome back to Coaster Friends. Today I'm really excited to share with you my full review of Thorpe Park's new for 2024 Muck Rides Hypercoaster, Hyperia, the Golden Goddess. After having the pleasure of riding Hyperia for the first time in April 2025, I'm ready to break down everything from the theming to the ride experience and give it a proper Coaster Friends style review. So let's dive straight in. Hyperia is the UK's tallest, fastest and most weightless coaster, topping out a whopping 236 feet, that's 72 metres, with speeds reaching over 80 miles an hour. The sleek gold and white track looks absolutely stunning, and the whole area around the ride has this clean, futuristic vibe that ties in perfectly with the Find Your Fearless message. It looks ultra modern but also incredibly imposing, because you can see it from pretty much anywhere in the park, and even from the M25. Thorpe Park really did a spectacular job with Fearless Valley, and their hard work absolutely shows. The ride's theme is loosely inspired by the tale of the Greek goddess Hyperia, the daughter of an ancient river god who became imprisoned on an island due to her fear of water. She forged a pair of steel wings, conquered her fear, and soared to freedom, becoming a symbol of triumph over adversity, allowing her to find her inner strength. The ride has been stylised in a way to encourage guests to follow the tale of Hyperia by finding their own fearless, embracing courage, and leaving their doubts behind them. This is amplified in the ride station where guests enter as the fearful and exit on the other side as the fearless. Hyperia isn't just a roller coaster, it's a tribute to the powerful potential within all of us, and that's something that I really appreciate. Anyway, enough hyping up the ride and its theme, let's dive into the ride experience itself. You begin your ride on Hyperia by taking a 180-degree outer banked right-hand turn out of the station. It's a really strange sensation to start the ride with, and it sort of prepares you for the unique elements that this gigantic coaster has to offer. You then climb the 236-foot lift hill. It's a fast, smooth and quiet climb that takes about 26 seconds to get to the top according to Coaster Mum, and it also has a very tense soundtrack building up until you reach the top, a great way to build suspense. As you're climbing, you're actually facing away from Thorpe Park itself and you're looking out over the Surrey countryside and even Greater London in the distance on a clear day. And as soon as you reach the top, there's no messing about. Hyperia throws you into its signature first drop. Only one word cuts it for me: insane. As I said in the vlog, you really can't explain the sensation of falling 236 feet at 95 degrees, going 80 miles an hour, while being spiraled 180 degrees to the left, all with just a lap bar. It's a feeling you can't describe. After that incredible drop comes the Immelman, a 48 metre, so about 160 foot inversion, combined with an insane moment of ejector airtime that follows. Technically it's not an inversion, but definitely feels like one when you're up there. You pull a sustained 4G of force through the bottom of this element according to the Ride Forces app, before whipping around into a sharp pop of airtime which is sustained all the way back down to the ground. This is a great element and maintains the true speed of the coaster throughout. Then comes the standout feature of the ride, the outer bank stall, also known as the Kramer roll, I don't know how to pronounce that. Towering at around 51 metres, which is about 170 feet, this is one of the most unique elements I've ever experienced. You enter it at max speed and the track banks sharply outwards before holding you in a suspended stall that feels like you're hovering in mid-air. It's an unreal sensation, amplified by the extreme height and open train design. The hang time here is incredible and it's easily one of my most favourite moments on the ride. After this, the train flips into a dive stall, hanging you 44 metres, so about 145 feet upside down, before diving back down to the ground. Now if you like a good zero-G stall, this feels exactly like one, except the fact it's massive. 44 metres, it's a massive stall. It's my favourite part of the ride by a long shot. It provides a fantastic moment of hang time before diving back down with more intense positive Gs. A really nice blend of forces in a way. But unfortunately this is when the train encounters a set of trim brakes, killing off most of the pacing the coaster had up until this point. I can see why these trims are needed, but it's a real shame since the ride's momentum takes a noticeable hit. Once past the brakes, the coaster recovers with an outer banked airtime hill, throwing you sideways once again with some solid lateral Gs and more ejector airtime. Finally, Hyperia sends you over one last classic airtime hill before rolling into the magnetic brakes for a smooth, comfortable stop. And there we have it, your virtual ride on Hyperia. A very short coaster, but what it does do in its compact layout is nothing short of phenomenal. A world-class coaster with very unique elements. As mock ride hypercoasters go, Hyperia is an excellent example. It blends smoothness and intensity very well, with great flow between the elements and an overall comfortable ride. There is a slight mid-train rattle that I noticed if you're paying close attention, but it doesn't affect the ride that much. The lap bar restraints are comfortable without feeling restrictive, which really helps with that open air flying sensation. You feel so exposed going over the elements. It's an unreal feeling, especially when you're 200 plus feet in the air. Hyperia is a very intense roller coaster, but in a way that it is manageable. It delivers serious thrills while still being enjoyable for most guests. It's a great ride for both hardcore coaster fans like me and those who want to step up to go on the bigger coasters. In terms of Thorpe Park's lineup, Hyperia fills a much needed gap. Until now, the park had coasters with inversions and great theming, but nothing that focused on height, speed and pure airtime. Hyperia changes that. It gives the park a true flagship coaster, the kind of headliner that puts it back on the map, not just in the UK, but on the world stage as well. It's also a very smart move for the park's future. With Nemesis over at Alton Towers pulling huge attention, this gives Thorpe a bold, elegant answer, something that's thrilling but also accessible to a broader range of riders, especially with it having just a 1.3 metre height requirement. Next, let's talk about Fearless Valley, the area that's home to Hyperia. This isn't just a new coaster dropped into the corner of a park. Thorpe Park have given it its own distinct atmosphere. The area has this really unique, almost mythological meets futuristic sort of vibe, and we have to talk about the soundtrack because honestly, I can't even think about the ride without that music playing in my head. It feels like something out of a movie. It genuinely gives me the chills every time I hear it, and it adds so much emotion to the experience, especially as the train dispatches and climbs the lifter when it really amps up. But I have to be honest, the area directly underneath the coaster is a bit of a letdown. It's mostly dead grass and empty space with very little landscaping or detail. Considering how much energy and theme has gone into the entrance plaza, it feels like a missed opportunity. The ride soars above you in such an epic way, but the ground beneath it just feels unfinished. A few water features or rock work could have really tied the space together, but still the atmosphere in the main plaza is strong enough, especially when the music swells and the train roars so far above you overhead. It's a cinematic, powerful and exciting atmosphere. All in all, Hyperia is a massive win for Thorpe Park, and without question the best coaster in the UK right now. It brings a sense of speed, scale and elegance that the park never truly had before, and finally gives Thorpe that top tier headliner to rival the world's best. The ride experience is breathtaking, from that ridiculous first drop to the graceful floaty inversions to the punchy airtime moments, and it's all tied together with a stunning soundtrack and dramatic atmosphere that elevates it even further. Is it a perfect coaster? Not quite. The ride's biggest downside is its length. Hyperia does feel a bit short, and at times it almost feels unfinished. Just one or two more elements after the dive stall could have really elevated the pacing and left me feeling even more satisfied than the ride does now. It's a real shame because what we have there is phenomenal, it just leaves you wishing for that little bit more when you hit the brakes. But make no mistake, Hyperia is a world-class coaster and one that sets a new standard for UK thrill rides. The theming, forces, visuals, it all comes together in a way that's exciting, inspiring and seriously fun. It's thrilling without being punishing, intense without being inaccessible, and it leaves you with that rare feeling of I need to get straight back on. So for all that, I'm giving Hyperia a rock solid 9.5 out of 10. Near perfect, totally unforgettable and a shining new icon for Thorpe Park's future. Hyperia is the best coaster in the UK. So have you ridden Hyperia yet? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to see more right here on Coaster Friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.